Hello 8th graders. Our new video is going to be for section 9.2, which is volumes of prisms and cylinders. So the volume, first of all, remember that that is what you need to fill a solid figure. So like if you had a cone and you filled it with popcorn, how much popcorn would you be able to put in there? That's volume. Or if you had a soup can, you wanted to know how much liquid you could put in it. That's volume. Okay, and that's always labeled with a little 3. Remember that area was labeled with a little 2? Well, volume is 3-dimensional, so it's labeled with a 3. First ones we're going to do are volume for a prism, and remember that not all prisms are the same. There's different shapes of prisms. So you need to remember that the formula is big B times little h, and the big B really stands for area of the base, and that can change because the bases are all different shapes. They're not all going to look the same. If the base is a triangle, you'd take half of the base times height for the big B, and then times the other h, which is the height of the whole figure. If it's a parallelogram, which could be a square or a rectangle or an actual parallelogram, you just take the base times the height for the big B, and then you also have to take it times the other h, because the h, the last h right here, is this h right here is the height of the whole figure. So that's separate from these h's. Okay, so you're going to have two h's there, but they mean different things. So if I want to find the volume of a prism, and some of these get kind of hard to draw, especially on here. So this would be a triangular prism. Why? Because there's a triangle right here on the end. Okay, so let's say this is 4, this is 3, and this is 7. That's all you need to know. So again, you always start, anytime you do formulas, you start by writing the formula down. So V equals big B little h. Big B stands for area of the base. Well, the area of the base is a triangle. So the big B is 1/2 BH, and then you have this other h here, which is the height of the whole figure. So I'm just going to continue plugging my numbers in here. So the 1/2 has to be there. It's part of the formula. The base of the triangle is 4, and the height of the triangle is 3, right here. Right? It's a right triangle, so you know that these are the base and the height. And then you have the height of the whole thing, which is this. It's laying on its side, so it's 7. So 1/2 of 4 is 2. And then you have 2 times 3 times 7. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 7. So your volume for this would be 42, and I should have put a label, so we'll do centimeters. 42 cubic centimeters. You have to label it with this little 3 for volume. Okay, again, big B stands for area of the base, and it's going to change depending what shape the base is. This is a triangle, so it's this 1/2 BH. That will change depending what the shape is. So then next we're going to do the volume of this prism, and it is a rectangular prism. How do you know it's rectangular? Because it's a 4x2 right here, right? They're all rectangles. Excuse me. This is 3x2, 4x2, and the top would be 4x3. So there's all different sizes, but that doesn't really matter. This is the easiest type that there is to do right here. Rectangular prism. All you have to do, the big B means base and height of the base, right? So right here is the base. How do I know that one's the base? Because there's one on this end, one on this end, and this is going to be the height, right? And it actually doesn't even matter, because any way you do it, it's going to end up being correct. Because another way to say it is length, width, height. Length times width times height, and that's probably an easier way to say it than using the big B. But all you have to do is take 4 times 2 times 3, and you got your answer. So 8 times 3 is 24, and so it would be 24 cubic feet, because you have to label it with a little 3. Again, rectangular prisms are the easiest ones there are to do. And if you want to think of it like this, that's fine. It's just length times width times height, done. You take your length times your width times your height, you got your answer. Then we have one more kind to do, which is a cylinder, and so a cylinder, right, looks like a soup can kind of, and there's a invisible side back there. So we're still going to do big B little h, but I'm going to give you the shortcut because the big B is always going to be a circle, right? The bases are circles, right? So it's always going to be pi r squared because that's the area of a circle. So pi r squared times h, and you're done. Pi is 3.14. My radius, I guess I should draw in. I'm going to put it up here because you can't see it. So 8 meters. And we'll say this is 12 for the height. So my radius is 8. Remember, radius is only halfway across the circle. So if they would give you the diameter right here the whole way, you'd have to cut it in half first. So the height of the whole thing is 12. So I take 3.14. I square my radius, which is 64, 8 times 8, and then times 12. So then I'm going to take my 3.14 times 64, and that is 200.96. All I did was take these two times each other, and then times 12. You get 2411.52 cubic meters for your final answer. So pi r squared is the big B, right? But for cylinders, it's never going to change. So you don't really need to write the big B. You can just put pi r squared. It will always be area of a circle times the height, and you're done. So volume of a cylinder, volume of a rectangular prism, volume of a triangular prism. That's what we're going to be covering the next time I see you. Have a good night.